Okay, so we'll just get this stream going again. We currently have audio from you, but I'm just loading up the game again.
Oh, so...
Yep, we're live. We're live on radio now. Yep.
I don't care how bad you think this team is. You shouldn't say those things. That Infiltrators, for your radio commentary, the Infiltrators was a brilliant 1v1 against the VS. I think it was VS heavy as well.
It's almost like I'm there right now. I'm imagining it. I'm in Nettle Mine.
I know. Like the trees, the wind is blowing, the trees are singing.
So we're looking at have the NC been able to push them out? Are they on the ziggurat again?
They're on the ziggurat. They've got I think there's a medic, an infiltrator, and the gal drop. The VS gal drop is coming in now, but it was downed quickly by Reverence and Walkers. So the point on the ziggurat is still NC, and they're bringing up that famous Sunderer column again. 2 Sunderers, Burst Maxes out, but the VS have deployed a VS Sunderer about 100 meters away behind a tree, so we're expecting kind of a bit of a heavy battle now, trying to get these Sunderers down. But really, it's a focus they don't need. They just want to try and get people on this point. There's only an infiltrator and a medic defending it. But the medic takes down the first VS heavy. The second one is called down TeamSpeak, and the NC lose the point. Spotted him hiding behind a little box.
Okay, I will be there with you in just 1 second.
The NC, they're massing up their heavies and medics. 1 or 2 infiltrators, and they're trying to push up these main stairs now, but the VS are going to be ready for them. They waited a little bit too long this time. There's 2 or 3 VS heavies on point.
Okay, so I am now back in the action.
Okay.
So I'm seeing the Valkyrie over the top. It's almost exactly like you described it, you know, it was...
You were there, weren't you? I mean, you felt it.
Mentally I was there, yeah. That's it. I mean, do you know what? I might just go and sit on the crown and just listen to you describe the rest of the match, because I think there was some sort of poetic beauty in what you were able to do there.
I think I found a new calling.
Yep.
It works as well, because people always say, you know, you've got a face for radio. So, you know, everyone's thought this for a long time.
So you've got a face for a lot of things. Okay, so we're starting to see pretty much attacks coming all around this base. Again, a lot more usage of smoke. Now, I know personally I'm not the biggest advocate of smoke, but it seems to be using quite well, and it seems to be used by the NC a lot more than the VS at the moment, I think.
I think someone's been on
They've been watching some videos, I think. Yeah,
maybe some Polish support going on here.
Yep, so definitely some Polish support, but see, Max is coming to the point. They're still holding the point here.
And like I said before, this is the danger when you're close to flipping a base and then get it taken off you. That's when you've got to be worried about getting back capped and getting set up to take the point back.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got 2 minutes now on this base. I mean, how are we looking for spawns this time? Is there much going on with the vehicles? All quiet on the western front by the looks of it.
Standard setup. The VS have now pulled it's like an AP lightning to try and take these Sunderers out, but I don't think 1 lightning is going to be enough.
Yeah. Well, there's lightnings as well. Is this another sign of desperation? Like, can they not pull the Mag Riders, or have they thought just a lightning?
5 minutes.
So this is now all or nothing. It's going to be a draw or it's going to be an NC win.
Well, 5 minutes now. If you're the NC, you stop bringing those Sunderers up. You get those people inside that base and you kick them off. You've got 5 minutes, but we only have 1.5 minutes on this base.
Yeah.
Another Max coming in. Yeah, I've cancelled the timer. I'll have to restart it in the next one. Thank you.
We've got 4 minutes though for everyone watching the stream. This is it now. Either this base will fall to the NC or it's going to be a draw on the first round. And it looks like the VS are getting the point back.
The VS are getting the point, but it's still they can still come in and push them off. But I don't think we're seeing the ziggurat fall now. What we're saying is we are not going to see VS take a base. So this is M2X's chance, because these are going to flip round, and we did identify early the ziggurat is where fighting's going to happen. So yeah, let's.
We've paid a lot of attention to M2X as well, and I think that their Sunderer play and some of the plays with the Galaxy and Valkyries have been really on point, but the VS have just always...
well, they've had an answer, haven't they?
They're keep getting around on these flanks all the time. If you're looking, the NC have got to run a long way from this garage to the A point, and there's always a VS infiltrator or a couple of heavies in between those 2 points, and now we've got a sniper though, just picking off and.
I can hear him going. Yeah.
And,
I mean, I feel sorry for these reservoirs. Here comes the drop. I see the gal drop.
Yeah, it's only
both really. It's not enough though, is it? Yeah.
Nah, I mean, we're now at the point as well. If they don't take it back in the next few seconds, it's going to run out of time.
Yep, we're nearly done here. So for anyone realistically, we have 2 minutes left in the match. But if they don't get this point back soon, then that's it for the half.
Nah, I think that's it, because it takes about 10 seconds to flip the point.
So it's a 0-0 draw for the first half then. But that was a pretty good half, I think. I mean, we saw some of the tactics. Now, what we really have to ask is, what are people going to do at half-time? Sorry, I think we just had the call. Was that 3 minutes that he called out?
3 minutes.
Yep, so we do have time. But
yep. Apparently, there's a black hole over England and shit's going weird.
Even with 3 minutes, it's still not possible.
It's not possible anymore.
Well, so, there's no spawn. So what do? You stop pulling your stuff. I mean, I don't think it matters so much. Like, the half-time, it does give you enough time to get your nanites back, but you don't... There's no point in really just slamming stuff at the moment. You have to destroy the vehicles, so I think we're just going to see both teams just play this out now.
Yeah, now I'd be, if I was in with the Viper and the Jess guys, it would be, just keep on killing, but calm down, let's
What
go
if you're
over
in the
what we
Max
think.
and the Blue Hornets, guys? No favoritism here, Blackjack.
Well, I just mean, if I was squad
Oh,
leading, and that's
with
the
the
guys I
Viper
squad
just-
lead,
yeah,
if I
you
was
just-
with them in TeamSpeak, it would all be about just, not worrying about anything, just stop thinking, let's talk about what happened in the last 45 minutes and get the ideas for the next half. You've got a good 15, 20 minutes, I think, at the half break, but you want to use every minute you can. You want to be, getting the information while it's fresh and then giving you guys a bit of a break.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so a family favourite of mine, particularly my mother's. Let's do a bit of role play. Let's pretend right now, Solaris, you're going into this break. You've been watching the VS. What do you do differently when you flick round? Because they're at Mulak this time. Do they go for the ziggurat, or do you go defensively and push around? Do you just do exactly to them what they've been doing to you for the last half?
Did they play the same factions in the second half? Is that right?
No, they will be switching round next time, so we are going to see NC again.
Well, I started that match basically halfway between Ziggurat and Nettlemar, waiting to see who was going to get on point first. And what actually happened was, unlike previous matches where people really just beeline for the point and try to back cap as quick as possible, this was more of a standoff for both sides. Both NC and VS seemed to sort of hold up over their respective bases and then see what was happening, and then eventually there was that big air battle. I didn't really see anybody actually aggressively go for the cap. I'd like to see some team do that, and if it's going to be Max and Blue Hornets with the Reaver next, and the shorter distance by about 150 meters, yep. I'd like to see them go for that, because that's probably going to work out at maybe a couple seconds advantage just in distance. So I'd like to see them push that real quick, because it looks like, just on the balance of it for the first half, Mox and 252 have got better sort of logistics and organisation, and maybe better ground vehicle play as well. But when it comes down to sort of fighting in the buildings and the bases, it looks like they're getting outshot, but not even by anything like...
Well, yeah, we've not seen maxes from them a lot, have we? It's just been infantry that have been pushing them off these points. So is that a fair thing to say then, that potentially the logistics and the vehicle play has been slightly better on the M2X side, but they just seem to have the slightly better infantry on the Max and Blue Hornet side?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think if they can capitalise on that just by getting straight onto the Ziggurat next round, and with their infantry squad or whoever's going to do that, and just try and play to their strengths, spread out from that point, and just patrol it and soak up some time and give their guys in the air the chance to set up. Because if they win the air again, it will be a different scenario.
Okay then, so Blackjack, pretending that you've just not heard what's about to happen to you, you're NC now, you're coming from that side. You've just had that half, you know that you can get around them, you can constantly stay aggressive. Do you do it again? This time you're coming from Zots and you need to go into Nelmai. We know they can get the buses inside, they are going to try and make that count, and they are going to spam those Sundays. So what are you telling your guys at half time?
Well, I think I'm telling them that, pretty much what Solaris said. Our vehicle play was better. Our organisation was on point. We were constantly being far more aggressive. But I'm also thinking to myself, like, really, our infantry play let us down. You know, we were close on the bases a couple of times, but you know, without many maxes, you know, Max and Blue Hornets were able to get back on these points. So I'm really worried if I have to go to a deathmatch. You know, so I'm going to try and be aggressive. I'm going to, you know, ram sides towards Nelmire and try and rely on my my vehicle play getting me better spawns at a base where the distance between the garages and the A point isn't quite as far. And yeah, I'm just going to, you know, tell my guys, you know, we did all right. You know, the vehicle play was great, and we just got to rely on a fighting at a base that's a bit more favourable to getting these Sunderers around it. Yep. I think that's what really hurt them at Ziggurat, was that kind of 1-2 Sunderer positions on the opposite side of the base to the A point. They just keep getting cut off before they could really make their reinforcements matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if Mox and 252 succeed in getting to Nelmire first with the VS, if that's who they're playing, I think it is, and they get buses into that base, it's going to be very difficult to deal with / a nightmare. But we've seen these things with other matches, you know, getting a battle bus into a base that isn't necessarily easy can be quite hard whilst everything's going on.
Well, that's just it. You have to buy yourself time, and we've seen those mag riders stalking around the outside of those bases and just denying, but they weren't protecting. They were aggressive, but they seemed to help clear out the Ziggurat a little bit. But when we got up to Nelmire, is that just a communication thing? Because they were trying to go for this southern garage when they didn't have the north, and they could have secured with the north. Like, that's what you... Am I wrong? Do we need to be looking at securing this north so that you have a constant stream of infantry, and then you get that luxury Sunder up the second side?
Yeah, I mean, they needed to spawn quickly. Maybe they thought they had the beacon on the top of the tree, and they were just relying on that. But yeah, I think they needed to get that Sunder up quickly. But come back to that mag rider as well. I think that mag rider needed to get into the base. I say he was on the hill to the south side, like looking at the spawn rooms, you know, poking around a little bit. He needed to be trying to burn his way in, and they were close. And you know, with 1 minute to go, you need to be throwing everything at a point, because you know, who wasn't expecting, you know, the NC to pull 4 or 5 Max and just try and crash back onto that point? And it could have been a lot worse as well. Max pushed out to the east into that little 2-story building with a balcony. If the NC and M2X had used the teleporter and come around behind them, they would have been on the point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without a lot of VS to contest it at all.
Well, that's just it. I mean, we did see a few close caps in that half. I mean, we saw the Ziggurat nearly went, and gee, crazy, it was close on Nelmire. I mean, they were down inside 30 seconds, but there was smoke and there was maxes. I mean, it was like live server that was coming in. It just steamrolled them off that point. Could they have done any more to stop that? I mean, we did identify that on Nettlemire you can get out to that forward building. Now that's where all the maxes came from. Should they have been forward a little bit, or should they have been all holed up in that point? What do you do with 30 seconds to go?
I think in Nettlemire, the guys on the ground, I mean, like I say, it could have been terrible. If they'd have come through, if the NC had come through the teleport room, it would have been terrible. But they spotted where the rush was coming from and went to head it off and give themselves as much space as they could, and it worked really well. But I think these vehicles, maybe some of their air guys, just need to be throwing more stuff at the point with that final minute. Like Solaris said when we were on the, you know, on the cast and streaming, you know, it was going to be a long minute, and everyone, you know, it was ticking down slowly. The NC were obviously preparing for something. And, you know, like I said, that mag rider just wanted to be trying to get up into the base. The Sunderers needed to be getting there as quick as possible and not looking for the best.
I mean, I don't know how much do you make a 2-2 AP Maggie count in that base?
Well, like, I think it wasn't AP. I think it was HE Saren.
Oh, was it really? Because I thought I could hear the Saren going, but
it was moving around. It was definitely a Saren on the top.
I thought I could see them doing AP. Around the outside. I thought they were taking out the Sunderers around, but...
Yeah. But even if it was AP, like, I didn't get a great look at its main gun, but even if it's AP, if you put that mag rider, you know, in between the point and the rush, or just mag burn over a load of people, it creates a bit of confusion. That's all that might have bought them the extra 10-15 seconds they needed. You know, it's not a case of if it's going to kill that many guys, but just, you know, when you get down to these last 20 seconds where it's all about trying to get on that point. Putting a mag rider between the point and the rush, even if there's no one in it, sometimes you might get a few heavies to take a different route, slow down to try and kill it first, and that can get you a cap.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's have a think about what's coming up. We have Server Smashes coming up soon. The next series of tournaments, I mean, all we've had so far since the tournament last year, they have been the friendlies. And we use that term loosely. There has been some not so friendlies, and there have been some matches that have not taken place. But we've got a glimpse into how these teams can perform and what we can expect. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the first Server Smash match is that Cobalt versus Briggs on the 1st of August. Let's pretend it is. We're going for that, and then that's when we're starting the next season. And then from there, we're looking at a weekly thing. That means that this LaneSmash format takes a break shortly, whilst the Server Smash goes on. Server Smash has been around for a while. Some people are a little torn by it. We've had a bit of controversy really recently with selection policies, but I think we are pretty much over that soon. I hope that a lot of the servers are kind of working out the final details to making sure that they can not only provide an inclusive to not only provide a inclusive method, but also to provide one that allows you to at least feel like you can play to win, because that's essentially what a lot of people want to do, is play to win as well, because winning provides a great feeling for everyone. So I think we're starting to see some breakthroughs, but there was some controversy over like maybe Briggs not being able to get enough players for the tournament, but I believe that's now been settled. So we're looking at going into the Server Smash tournament with a full roster, 240 versus 240 on one whole map. So that'll be Amarish. It's a one versus one if you don't know what the format is, and you have 2 hours to take as much territory as possible. There are various stipulations. I won't bore them with you today because it's not the focus of our thing, but I urge you, if you're playing now and you've not been involved in the Server Smash, a lot of the times these are administrative nightmares, and each server has a group of people that are elected or just pretty much put there by divine right, just they were just born in the right body, and they get into these positions, but you need to have contact points to try and manage 240 people. You can't just put a list up and say, like, these are all the people and then just randomly divide them. It needs to be some organisation. So if you want to play, have a look at getting involved with your outfits. Speak to your outfits. Every outfit should have a rep, and get involved in these sorts of matches. I mean, they're some of the most fun times I've had within PlanetSide, and I'd like to see such a community-driven initiative. Just like, it's not only taken hold now, but I think it's provided some of the meta that a lot of us have asked for a long time, and we kind of overlook that we now have this this thing that we can look forward to once a month. So, yep, get involved. All the matches are streamed live on here by casters who are a lot more practiced than myself, dribble on less, and don't have a tendency to crash in the middle of a stream. So I do apologise for that. That explains the technical difficulty we have. Technical difficulty was, it's so hot that I'm sitting in my own soup right now, and I think maybe my computer just got a little warm. So I've had a drink, I blew on my computer a little bit, and it seems to be fine now. So, what are we looking at to go forward? Oh, this actually brings up an interesting point. Some people are asking about stats for this match. Now, I don't think many people are going to be surprised, but there's been a small attack on the login servers of Daybreak Game Company's servers. I'm not going to give any advertisements or any publicity to these people who've done it, but it has resulted in the API being down for a little while. So some of you who are used to using things like Recursion Stat Tracker, or using some of the websites that rely on the API, which is the information basically that these things use, it's still down, so it makes it a bit difficult for us to keep track of some of these stats. But furthermore, we are looking at developing within PSBL, being able to keep a running tally of the score, but at the moment, because it's only done on one lane, it's very, very difficult to have that sort of progress bar that you have in the Server Smash matches. So it is being worked on, but it's not finalized yet. But we do have the main LaneSmash tournament coming soon, and I would expect it should be around for then. Let us know, like, obviously we are on a slight delay, but I'm going to start looking through the chat a bit now, if anybody has any questions or anything they'd like to see brought up. I'll quite happily approach some of these sorts of things in the upcoming match, and the quiet little bits in between the bases when people are trying to get Sundras in place. So I'm keeping an eye on the chat, I'm looking at you. There's a lot less spamming, and I believe one of the mods was very brave and took Moobot off, so So
Which has been put back on.
Moobot is back on. So you broke it. Well done, everyone. You had it and you ruined it. But anyway, it's nice seeing the Twitch chat. There's a lot of people active, and also there's a lot of people watching this. So this is, as I say, one of the qualifiers. So when we get up to the main tournament, you can expect things to be just that little bit more intense. Right, so we've got a short interim. I don't think we're too far away from beginning the second half. Let's go into a little bit in depth. I mean, we've got a few people here who are not only taking part in the LaneSmash, but also involved in sorting out the thing. So let's have a little talk about how do you prepare for one of these matches. I mean, first things first, obviously, you do have to look at getting 24 people together, but it's a bit more than that. You need to have depth, you need to have a roster, you need to have people who can fly, you need to have good infantry players, you need to have good vehicle players, and you need to have good leaders. So Solaris, we'll come to you. Obviously, I know that you're helping set up one of the team. How do you prepare for one of these matches? Do you prepare a lot, or do you just turn up on the day and hope things go okay?
Well, at this point in the game's life, if you've got a very veteran outfit, preparation for something like this is not really so much training and practice. All of your members will know their roles and do them well. It's morely about preparation and strategy, tactics that you can come up with for each base, and then just dividing up the force into a composition that works and trying to get communications and structure that works. So I mean, it's a bit different from me, from my perspective, in that I don't have to teach people how to shoot or what to do in a squad, an infantry squad for one of these things. But certainly you would have to reach a certain competency.
When both teams are ready, please then come the team captains to the referee channel.
So we're starting soon, I guess. But I mean, you obviously have to reach a certain competency to do well in these matches, and that's obviously the first thing.
Yep,
But then obviously after that, after that, you're moving on to investigating the lane, investigating your opponents, looking over every inch of a base, to see what you can use to your advantage, working out the flight times for, back caps and for the start, working out flight times, and so you can see what you're going to do at the start, whether you can't back cap and do what Max and Blue Hornets did there, or basically, I guess they thought that 252 and Mots would be faster than they actually were, and decided that they would try and absorb their back cap first, and that's kind of what happened. And that's obviously something you've got to prepare for. Are you going to do that? Are you going to try and push?
Yep,
So,
yeah, that's all things.
I think that a lot of these outfits, I think, a lot of the hard work in terms of, getting solid people, like you just said, good pilots and good infantry players and good leaders. A lot of that stuff basically already has to be in place, because it's a long road back to making competitive players in those categories if you haven't been doing it for 2 years or 3 years or whatever the case may be.
So can these matches be competitive? Are they representative of what PlanetSide is? I mean, PlanetSide is a large-scale game. Does this give enough of what PlanetSide is? Like, is this just something for those people who feel they can shoot better, or can a lot of people play this? Is this more team play than maybe something like PSBL, which is a 12v12?
Well, obviously, I mean, I think that, one or two really good players is not as likely to swing one of these matches as it is for a 12-man PSBL scrim. So I mean, there is a potential for.
Well, yeah, they let me in, so surely it doesn't matter that much.
A potential for less capable players to try this as a sort of route up to that, if that's what they want to do. But I think it can be competitive, but not in the same way. It's not all about competing on a Twitch aim and positioning and movement within a sort of static, sort of standard FPS scrim. It's not competing on that level. There's way more involved in it. The logistics, the combined arms support, what vehicles you're going to bring, how many people, the tactics, how you're going to get everyone coordinated and doing what they're supposed to be doing at the right time. There's a whole nother level of stuff like that, and you saw that in the last match. You basically had a strong, sort of well-organized, well-oiled logistical machine versus something that was a little bit more freeform.
Please, both team captains come to the referee channel to state how far you are.
But each, I don't want to say that there were better infantry players Max we wanted, but it looked like they were out shooting them pretty competently, without real worry. And that was basically the two styles of teams that I think we're going to see in this. And
so you think we're going to see those really good infantry squads versus those good logistics squads? What happens if an outfit can do both? I mean, are we going to see people walk this?
Of course, that is
they win, don't they? Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I mean, so you do want to do both, and this is a good tutorial of both, and how both can have strengths and weaknesses. But you need both to be able to overcome and move forward.
Do you have an advantage then? Because let's be honest, we were talking about how you prepare for these matches. I don't think in the few days before these matches you're going to get people suddenly raise their level to have an exceptionally good twitch aim and like snapping headshot ratios and stuff like that. So are they going to be able to adapt better to the logistical side of things? Because let's not forget, those people generally on live who have the better aim, they do play in those smaller groups that don't particularly focus on base captures and things. They are the ones who sit back at defensive fights. I know it's a sweeping statement, but we do have the odd ones that rattle through some of our outfits that are the good shooters, but typically the really good shooters, I think you maybe can give more of an insight being in full blackjack about people. How do they adapt to this logistical side of things? Is that easier than just thinking around good players?
I think the adapting isn't too hard. It's more of the fact that takes a bit of time and a bit of effort to put in with working with the rest of your team, especially when you've got mixed teams. I think a lot of outfits have chosen to split it a bit more evenly and try and have one outfit bring the infantry, and then have the other outfit try and prop up that teamwork. And,
yeah, you can notice a little pattern across those. Across some of the outfits that are taking part, especially the split ones. There's been some interesting sort of pairings across both servers, and you do notice a little bit of that. Like, you do notice that the good infantry players are going with people that can play logistically. Okay, so we're just hearing now 1 minute before the next half.
Yeah, I think congratulations. I think that's, teams want to win, and they're realizing that they're going to need both these aspects, and a lot of it comes down to lane as well. As we said at the start, this lane we felt was fairly balanced, and I still think it is. I think this is why we're getting a really close match, because both of these bases really need both aspects of. You're going to need good logistics to get good spawns on these bases, and then you're going to need
30 seconds before start
a lot of good play to take them. I'm going to go.
Okay, so
zoom over to my NC.
Yep, I'm now starting on the. I'm starting on the biolab again, but this time there is no VS. It is TR versus NC this time. So we are looking at now the M2X have switched to play TR, and now Max and Blue Hornets are going to be playing as VS. So let me just start my counter for everyone.
3, 2, 1, start of round.
Okay then, so here we go. Again, we're seeing the Galaxy pulled from the landing pad. Now, I don't know if, there was a fairly open document that people could see, but nobody seems to want to start from the edge of the hex. I mean, is that
Well,
Max, is that an oversight on them?
Have started from their spawn room and pulled a couple of Maxes into their gal from the start.
I love these system broadcasts.
It looks like the TR on MAHR.
Right. Yeah, the TR of now flipping the point. We're going to be fighting here this time.
Okay, looks like Nettlemire then. But they're there quickly with those Bale Reavers, because that's not the Galaxy that's coming yet. The Galaxy isn't there. But the NC Galaxy, they just about cling on to it.
That NC Gal hit that Reaver, that Mozzie rather, and now kind of had to...
But yeah, not a great drop from the TR either. I mean, they didn't get everybody to the point. I know they have the point, but they didn't drop everybody on the point. We're starting to see some fighting within the base now. But we can't forget that it's not vital that the NC just crash here and hold their... I mean, they should hold their gal because they own this base. Or do they get rid of their gal? I mean, we're seeing the air fighting again. We can't forget that it looks like Max and Blue Hornets are again going to get air superiority. They've got the gal sitting over the point, and it's defensive as well. They're going to be here for a while. They're not getting pushed out. So, what do? I see a Reaver heading towards the Ziggurat. But here are the Walker Sundays rolling up again. We've seen this before. It's the same routine we're going through here.
Yeah, I don't know about this Walker Sunday this time. They're trying to get this Sunder up into the base, I think.
Is that a Fury actually?
Yeah,
well, have they got one coming up into the base?
Yeah,
it's free kill until
is it south or north?
Oh, He's
going
on
up
the
north.
south side.
He's trying.
Doing his best, but the Maxim of the Hornets have brought a big Reaver.
They have the
swarm.
point back now. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I was saying before the match. You have to slam this corner very hard right here. And he's trying. Is he going to make it?
Yep,
he's making it. He's going to make it.
He's not going to live very long with these Reavers.
But he made it. But he's also under attack with the Reavers. And there's a Vanguard coming underneath. He's being chased by his engineer. The engineer desperately wants to rep him. Oh, as a professional engineer, I feel this guy's pain. He's getting pounded, and he's dead as well. The Lolpus killed it. It's not going to stick. They couldn't make it stick. That's a shame because they got it in there. But this is exactly what you were talking about. These things can matter, but in the battle, can you get them up? Well, yeah, they can get them up, but they don't last.
And that needed to be a first attempt to doing everything to make it. And
Yeah, it was clutch.
too long.
Yeah, that can make or break it. I mean, we're seeing them on the point now. There are some TR still clinging around, but you're getting mobbed up. There's still people dropping behind. They're not going to last here. So let's have a look. Do we have any spawns coming in? Those Sunderers. Whereabouts are they? Are they still on the road? Because this isn't going to be as profitable for them with the Walker Sundays here, is it?
No,
There we go. I hear them now.
The trees around LaneSmash are going to make this kind of standard format we saw from the last match, just not as effective. It's also a lot easier to hit these Sunderers with
the ground pounders are working. Down goes one. They deploy Sundays out there. Now, do we have people ahead on Ziggurat? Yes, there is somebody at the base.
The NC are ready to cap it.
7 seconds.
They had their Galaxy overhead, but brought it back when the TR flipped the point half a second before.
But is the Galaxy moving now?
It's coming
Yep,
back
it's
over.
slowly going. We can see it shifting.
But the TR, it's given the time for the TR to get back on this point now. I see one or two guys running around here.
I mean, sometimes you can lock the point up, but if you communicate properly, sometimes you don't want to flip it because... Oh, here comes the drop now. Sorry, they're coming in. Yeah, if you flip it too early, they are going to come and push you off it. But if you don't flip it, then they can just go and wait in the point. What do you do? There we go. We're in the point now. They do have the gallop. There is no anti-air. They're just sitting over here. A Bulldog is working over the spawn. I'll put my house on this thing.
Could be it.
A Walker Sunday. It is Walker. So here we go. The Walker Sunday's rolling out the back. That's a very clever move by MCY. Sorry, M2X. Excuse me. But they're being squeezed. There's a Walker Sunday at the other side. This Galaxy is on a road to nowhere.
And there he's arrived.
Part of me
as well.
feels like he should just have parked it in the base.
He was getting hit by Desis. They quickly got heavies into both spawn rooms. The teleport room were pinning it with Desis from both sides.
Nice play by that Reaver, just working over those maxes there.
And here comes the TR rush back onto the point, getting the grenades in there.
I mean, that Galaxy, in all honesty, had more chance of lasting longer than any of my relationships. Another Valk coming in now. It's a defensive Valk. I don't know where they're going. Oh, it nearly went over. The Spitfire turret working over for the friendlies. He's really struggling with this. And now he's being attacked by a Reaver. He's gone down. That was heroic. Failing to save his KD. I hope he can go somewhere outside the back of the base that's actually useful, because I think he'd probably been better off dying and getting the deploy screen. Beacon's going down. NC are near the point. That was... Did they just take out their own beacon? I think the TR just took out their own beacon, you know.
No, they didn't need it anyway.
Well, I know, but there's an NC beacon on the roof and they took out a TR beacon. I think this guy's trying to find it.
Maybe he's colorblind.
Not even I can tell the difference between those two.
I mean, this guy's trying to find the beacon. I think he knows it's up there. Anyway, let's go and have a look what's going on outside. I hear more vehicles, more walkers, and the Vanguards this time. Let's not forget Blue Hornets and Max do play NC as main. And I've certainly been AP'd quite a few times by these Vanguard drivers, so I wouldn't want to be in the air right now, but I certainly wouldn't be going up against them.
Yeah, well, this Vanguard's already been pushed back first by this Sunderer.
But he's got no gunners, has he?
I think he's only got one.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that.
It's Sunday Wars now. Sunday versus Sunday. The other Sunday's chasing down. That Sunday's not going to last. Can they get spawns up though? That's the critical thing.
Getting these Gals and Valks to flip a base behind them and force these Sunderers back. Otherwise, we're just going to see a very long stalemate fight between these two bases.
Another bail from a Reaver. Why do you bail from a Reaver so far away? These are the things that can actually make or break these sorts of fights. If these people are staying alive too long outside, I mean, does your stats really matter that much when they cannot even be tracked by the API?
I think a lot of it's just muscle memory for these guys, to be honest. Even I have this trouble of just doing these kind of silly things.
Right, here we go. In on the point. Let's see but let's see what the TR are doing already. We see one jumper coming across, he's on his own. A little bit piecemeal at the moment, Galaxy overhead.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as this stays up.
NC
Gal's pretty close. It's I like to think that's where most of them are, but I couldn't see two in it.
You would like to think so. I mean, there's still 12 to 24 TR at MAHR. Are they counting on getting this back? Is this what you do? Do you gamble? I mean, realistically, right now you can gamble and be in a better place afterwards. And if it doesn't work, then you still can push them
on the point. And MAHR, I'm looking at about maybe 4 or 5 guys.
The TR have got a max and about.
Well, here comes a drop, because I think they can do this at Ziggurat. I think they can push him off as long as he doesn't walk on that C4. He looks like he died to the C4. Yep.
Yeah, Max cleaned that up very effectively.
Yep, that was really good play, because it looked like they should have been pushed off there, but they weren't. So they're still alive on the point.
Just real quick, I mean, you can see the difference between Max on this point and 252. Max are not in the point, basically.
Yep. Out they go. I can see them pushing to the south.
Raised level, and if they do that effectively, they could buy enough time to cap this.
But let's not forget there's two sides to this. I'm watching one side being watched very heavily, and the other side, bit of air support on it, but it's still very quiet, the main spawn room side.
I think the problem you're going to have with this base is spreading around is that you've seen that
well, I mean, they're heading over to this
this
north.
If they bring a gal overhead and just drop on this point and you're spread out trying to watch both spawn rooms.
Yep, here comes a push now from this this northern side. Over the jump pad coming up the stairs. They've got a couple of maxes on top for the NC, and there's another max coming up. He's slowly working through people. I mean, again, do they need to be making air count here? Do they have the resources for it? There's vanguards around the outside. A CTR, they've changed tack, they're coming up the backside now. Max is still active, but there's a big EMP on there. One Desi into that Max. The engineer's going crazy. The engineer's down, so that just leaves the Max now, like, trying to hold himself up. This Max is going to be critical to getting into this point, I think. If they don't get this Max in, everyone's gone but him.
Mozzie came in with a grey lol pod run on the roof.
Well, you see, the TR have been cleared on the other side. I think this is it for the... It's still 50-50, because the TR don't have people here. The Mozzie might have cleared the roof off, but the beacon's still up, and there's only one Max on the TR.
The NC, and he can keep anybody who's here alive. Oh, he's engaging a Max.
It's not going to get
what a hero.
Forward.
Yep, we've got lol pods on the roof again. I mean, well, there goes that Mozzie down. He tried to take him. No casualties. Ayla. He tried to bail and join the fight, but he's just dead on the roof.
So this is what I was saying may happen if they get set up on here. They have a more dispersed hold on the point.
Well, this is looking good now, isn't it? This is not too bad. What do they do?
A minute to go. This is where you want every Reaver and Vanguard and Sunday and everything pressuring this base.
That's just it. They've got one Vanguard, no, 2 Vanguards outside. So, I mean, they're two Vanguards as well. So that's 4 people outside this base and a Lightning. They're going to need some people in the point, I think. I mean, they're protecting their spawn very well, but you need
switch to the other side, the TR just comes straight through that teleporter room, and now the NC are going to have to respond very quickly to switch over to this south side before they can get in onto A.
Yeah, we see them pushing it. I mean, the NC are still outside. I can't see a big concentration of TR.
And they got hit pretty quickly. There's another 6 guys, but they all just died.
Oh, okay, on the north side. Yeah, I see the big jump coming over. Yep, I see them coming over now. But they're getting lol podded. This is what I was talking about, the air. This is very, very critical on this sort of base. I think
they're going to do this.
You think they're going to get it?
A little early, but I think this is going to be our first cap in this match.
Yeah. I think we're going to see it. This is looking good for... Oh, but there's a lone heavy that's coming through. He's just taken 2 out. This is going to be critical.
We only turn around because there's actually people on the point. Yeah.
Yep, there are people pushing in. Now they're all getting off. They need to get on this point. Now this is where it's going to be. A Max inside. Max is still active. A Brave Heavy is jumping and medkit tanking, but he just goes down with this thing. They've lost the point.
Wow,
this was close.
So this is what we saw.
Everybody was trying to farm that little push up the stairs.
Yep, and they got pushed off. But this is... Can they get back on the point again? We've got air superiority. There is no anti-air now. They need to get to this point. Maybe not rush it, but they need to get on it again.
There's a blob coming in from the northwest. You should be able to see that in a second, and we're going to see what they do.
Because I see one guy coming.
Pretty weak.
Oh, yep, yeah, I see them coming up the stairs now. Well, we say very weak, but these medics are just going down. Like, here we go. They're getting back up again.
He's still got a C4 though. There he goes. He's just waiting
Okay,
to get
max
to
down.
revive.
Yep, there we go. Another res, but they need to suppress that guy at the top of the stairs. They didn't get it, but they still got the medics there. There comes the air support. Now they just need to get their shields back, and then they can make a push up these stairs. Here it comes. 5 guys up the top of the stairs. They need to start looking at breaching this room now. They're going through a side entrance. Peeking. That's a trade.
Yeah, I have a very good hold.
Yeah, there's a strong
They're
presence
watching
in there.
out as well.
They're going to need a bit more than these 5 guys. A heavy trying to look and peek. Sounds like he's running with an SMG. The heavy goes down. That just leaves him with an infill, a medic, and another heavy.
Yeah, I think some EMPs
But we've
and
got
a
some
good
other-
push could do this.
There's
but-
still a spread around the room. We still have the heavies active. You still hear the anchors rattling away. There's some desis going in. What's it like in the point room? They're thinning out. I mean, we're looking at 1 NG, 1 max, 1 medic. A big EMP goes in, it followed by a grenade. Is a grenade going to get him? Well, there we go. It's just the max in the room. Can they take care of this max now? If they can get this max... He's calling for repairs, but they've got 1 heavy.
That max is on about 2/3 health by the looks of it.
Yeah, but he's still holding it, and the NG's in. He's up and alive. I can hear a gal arriving. Is that an NC gal? It is the
an
NC
NC
gal.
gal.
So here comes some drops. The NC are going to try and stay alive. They have air support.
NC maxes as well, I hear them.
Oh, well, it's clearly what they've done is they've gone back. They've picked up those maxes. They're getting into the room now. They're starting to clear out. Brave infill. He couldn't go down. But they're still holding. Res grenades going in. That's an NC res grenade, but I mean, this is just free kills right here. If he takes
This
this,
is just mayhem.
he takes it and he goes down. I mean, this is like Surf Smash. Another res grenade. They're zombie warring on the point. But should you zombie war if you know you've got a max? Is that just a waste of... C4, is it going to get anyone? Nope. I mean, you want to be EMPing that right now, that room, don't you?
I think it may have found some order here. There's a big group on the stairs. It looks like it's going to push in.
Yep, I see them now. They're on the outside. But I mean, they are getting hit on the other side.
That max just needs to charge in and just flatten the
Yeah,
room.
he needs to get
That's
in,
what he
doesn't he?
does. There he goes. So they're going to try it again this time with the
Yeah,
max.
he gets dumpstered, but they're going to go for the hold. But they have lost a lot of time. I mean, they were down to 40 seconds from the save, so they're still going to be like 3 minutes is still going to be on the cap now.
True.
So you start again, don't
there
you?
won't be resources for a max crash like that for maybe another 4 or 5 minutes.
Now, looking in this
So-
room, can you see that that mine by the A point? Now that's not a good defensive move because I mean you're looking at 1 EMP and your defenders are getting wiped there. I mean these sorts of little things by your guys can make the big difference. I mean you wouldn't want to call anyone out. Anyone can do it. Hell, even sometimes I go to medkit as an infill and then I throw a mine down. So it happens.
What it may be is that they're going to leave the point and leave that there. So if they do what they did before, where they patrol the north and the south of the
Yep.
base, but not actually.
Yep, they
at
are
that
pushing
point,
out.
You want to leave mines behind in that scenario. If you're going to stay on the point, you don't want
30
mines.
minutes left in the match. I repeat, 30 minutes left in the match.
Okay, so we are 1/3 of the way through. A bit like last time, we're seeing people being more aggressive on the Ziggurat. It was a little bit of a turnaround. They did get a bit more aggressive in the beginning on LaneSmash, but we are back at the Ziggurat. And we are seeing a bit different this time. They are making some of the air count for them. They are pushing out of the rooms, but this is the other side. Remember, this is not the same NC from the first half. This is the people who are playing VS. So the NC this time, for everyone who's recently joined us, are Max and Blue Hornets from Cobalt. And playing as TR this time is 252nd Division and Mox from Miller. So
Looks to me like the Max Blue Hornets need to get a few more guys on the ground here.
I mean,
It looks
do
like
we
all
still
of
have those
252
vanguards
here.
outside? Are they still?
No, I think
The
they're all
vehicles
gone.
have gone now. They're trying to pull more infantry in. They're trying to get them from these Sunderers, but the same problem that M2X had, the Sunderers on the ground are on the other side of the base, and when people die, they've got a long run, often under fire. Although M2X now aren't contesting as much as Max and Blue Hornets did.
We've got a Liberator up now. I mean, that's another big resource. I mean, you're looking at 2 people and 450
And
resources.
it's about to die.
Yep, and it's gone. Like,
No, they're going to get to rep.
they are going to save it. But again, I mean, you can make it stick. I mean, if
Does
if
someone
that's
bring up an
allowed to
AP
operate.
Lightning?
I mean, we've got the Walker Sundays out the back again. I mean, that lib is just maybe pulled a bit too late. If that was here before, That could work.
It's
They
also a
need...
3-man lib. By the looks of it. Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry, I was just repairing from the guy in the lightning.
Right, so if you are them, you need to get rid of this Sunday at the back. Like, this is a problem right now for you. You need to have full air control over this base. If you're going to take it the way they do, they've gone all in for air. They've got Reavers up. They have a Liberator now, but they have this anti-air that's working over. I can hear Burster Maxes. Air still ground farming reasonably freely. I mean, it's not being too heavily pushed.
Yeah, the Vanguards have kept M2X from getting their Walker Sunderers on the road like they did last time, but I think now's a good time to try it again. The Vanguards and the Lightnings aren't really contesting it. If they can get some more, a couple of Burster Maxes or a Walker Sunderer on the other side of the base, it's going to make this Reaver's job a lot harder.
Here comes some Zephyring. No dice. I think he's just bravely hiding. Look at him. We've all been this guy on live. Just hiding away underneath, hoping that this goddamn Zephyrlib just stops shooting at you. But he survives.
There's
NC
one
pushing
TR
in
on
there.
the point. I think they're going to get it back now.
Yeah.
Yep. I see the NC stacking up outside.
There's no one on the point, actually. This is a kind of passivity that can...
That's the point. There is no
lose
one on the
you in
point.
games.
All these NC outside. Why was no one going in? There we go. They're in now.
You always want someone
To
peeking
just
around
at
the
least,
corner.
yeah, to have a little look.
At least
But
have
here
a
comes the
look.
big stack up again, northwest corner over the jump pads. Yeah, ready NC. They're on the roof. They're looking to hold down these firing lanes.
This is a big push now. coming from
Yeah,
M2X.
this is going to clear out. It should do, but
Yeah,
heavy
they-
on the roof go down.
they
There's
need
guys
more
ignoring each other.
aggressive-
Coming in. This brave prince over here. Don't worry, sir. He goes down. You can't crouch.
Still amount of NC here, though.
Well, the amount of smoke in there is making it very enjoyable for me to watch. But I mean, are we still in the point? Do people still crouch and hide in corners? You should be. Should you be aggressive as a medic, or do you hide? I mean, do you crouch down in a corner, or do you look at holding down those forward firing lanes? I mean, every
I'd
gun
say-
counts in
I'd
this.
say the latter, yeah. When
Yeah.
your heavy goes run to shoot, you want to go with him. You're pulling back as soon as you take even any damage. But just presenting 2 guns and 2 targets to somebody is often enough.
Well, that's
Especially
I
because
often.
the most effective they've been with Max trying to get this base is when they've been on these edges of these walkways, looking down, contesting it, pushing out around the base. And
we go another
we saw
jump
from
coming in.
M2X. We saw from M2X that sitting on this point isn't always the easiest and the best way.
So if I've calculated it right, the people that pulled maxes last time will probably be able to do it in about a minute and a half.
Yep, we're around that time now, I think.
So it's not beyond bounds that there could be another max crash like there was last time.
Okay, so
But it's
mocks
gonna
are
be
being
delayed.
held at the top of this stairs. They've also got like they've got enfilading fire, and they were being thinned out there. They can't get up the top of this stairs.
Check out the south.
Here we go from the south. It's not a big push, but they are. Oh wait, there we go. I just seen them all emerge out of that building.
It's not big, but it just draws the fire away. Max has done the same thing again. They get drawn into looking north, and M2X try and push around with just 5 or 6 guys from
What?
another direction.
I think they've dealt with it. I mean, the max is still up, but
It's hard for the Reavers to do something here without just bugging out for like 2 minutes.
TR now on the point, with the last
Yep.
couple of NC being taken care of now.
yeah, but that max just couldn't go down on that south side. He was there for a long while.
Never say never. A few medics
Yes.
in there.
He's
Hero-
trying. He's trying.
Hero with the commissioner came in and cleared it up.
The revive
But-
grenades are going out, but the TR doesn't have any revive grenades, so
Well, that's just it. There's a max to
All
the
the
south
NC
side
are
I've been
back.
watching, and he's got to be low on health. He's actually gone down now, so 1 minute 40. We need to get some air. We need to get some hearts. Once that Liberator is still going, I mean, he's just
so
gregariously repairing
maxes and
outside.
no maxes in the next minute. If they don't have maxes, I don't think they're going to get
Okay.
it back.
Let's get ready
If they
then.
do, it's
They're being
seems-
distracted by this Vanguard. I mean, is that distracted? I mean, take it out. Randomly jumping
Nice. I
over.
think you just got to go at this point. I'm really, we haven't seen any kind of Valk or Gal drop trying to get closer onto this point either. Even just
No.
a Valkyrie with a couple of heavies in it might just draw their fire away from this.
Well, that's just
This
it. You
jump
can't
up.
always. I mean, how many times? This is 4 or 5 times now. They've just been piling up the stairs. I mean, it's been working, but there's a good EMP on them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a medic going 5. Just wiped out the. That was a massive EMP grenade there. But I mean, here comes the Max from the other side.
It's looking good.
It's not bad. The air has just unfortunately killed his own teammates, but his intentions were good before he crashed on the roof. But that AA turret is a bit of a
turning
pain.
up at exactly
Yeah,
the right
40 seconds. This is beautiful, but that AA turret is a bit of a pain. But that's still
It's
one guy who's
fine,
not
that's
pushing the
another-
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
There's a Max,
pushing the
another
point.
guy not pushing the point. This is looking good now.
The
What have
TR
we
are
got?
getting a hold on these doors there. If they can
Yep, they're pushing
be
in.
aggressive and use this, like, that's
Oh,
what
the
I-
jackhammer just comes in and starts clearing out the doorway. 20 seconds now. Let's see what can the TR do.
in this A
TR coming up the stairs. This is the 7th time, but this is desperate now. They're just running at the point. But it's
They
big
have to
numbers.
try and,
They're coming in. Let's get inside this point room.
10 seconds.
Oh, I'm stuck
come
on the corner.
it's the golden
Come on, we
rule.
want to see this go through. But the TR have pushed them off the point again. There's res grenades going off in here. It's a goddamn bloodbath.
Yeah.
This is now becoming a server smash type.
Yep,
playing
this
down
is
zombie
just
walls
through.
and res grenades. But the TR are doing better at it, really. They
Well, it's
they
their
least
home
the
base,
last
isn't
minute,
it? They can
they
just...
keep getting on.
I think they're gonna get this. It's gonna take like 10
Yeah,
minutes.
it could do. But let's start talking about something else. What do we do if there's a draw? I mean, there has been one already, but for those people who are watching, what we do if there's a draw, we have a sudden death match. Basically, what we do is we take every team to the traverse, and you set one Sunday up at each end of that long bridge.
I think talk of a draw might be premature, my
Yeah.
friend.
Oh, but you've already called this. Oh, they're in on the point. This has got to go through.
This is going to go
I have
through.
put the death knell on them. I'm going to keep watching this northwest side because I'm pretty sure I'm about to see a desperate run. But this is 30 seconds. There are maxes and all sorts on that point. I don't see any vehicles, but you don't need them right now. Just get in on that point.
Yeah.
Here comes the TR push.
It's gonna be difficult.
This is it.
Another huge EMP hitting.
Yep, that was big. Whew.
Yeah, there's still an NC Max to deal with. It's not going to be so easy this
Yep,
time.
but the TR Max is fractures. It's coming in. Here comes the charge. The Max goes down. This is 14 seconds. This is going to go, isn't it?
Oh,
Do you know what? I was going to tell you what, but that EMP just comes into the room. 2 EMPs, and now the rush. Are they going to do it? 1, 2. They're starting to clear out. The Max is still going.
that Max.
Can they just?
It's all down to that Max. It's all down to
Res
that
grenades
Max.
need to go off.
No.
The TRs come up. Well,
This is
well,
insane.
well.
Outside,
Yep, let's go and have a look because this isn't over.
They're getting cleared. There are 4 guys left in that south building.
The
I see
gal
them
is
on the
still
outside
up, really high up. It's
Oh, we've got a
the
ceiling
NC
gal, haven't we?
gal.
Yes, I see him. They're still dropping
So
in. Still
This
losing
is going to
good.
go on basically forever.
Well, let's see how this works out. More. He's going to side. I'm going to stick outside the room for the time being and just see how the NC are looking like, because they've got to come up with something to get in the room. Well, they're just going to go for the stand walk through the
Again.
door procedure. They're in the room, but how long
Both
have they got this
sides are
time?
just human waving each
But now,
other and
20 seconds. They've got to push out. If they want to take this, they need to get out this
Yeah.
room, surely. But they're starting to push out on the south side. I see them. They're into the second building. What are they doing on the north? They need to concentrate on their north, because this is their desperation side. They've done this 7 or 8 times now.
this time I think they
This
will
is
get
it.
They
This
need
is
to
gonna
get
stick.
everyone on the point again.
Right, now we're inside the 10 seconds. What do you say to your boys? What are you shouting
Everyone
over
on A.
comms?
Everyone
Get
on A.
on the point. And are they doing it? Here they go, running inside the room.
1 second
This is going to
cap,
cap.
it's gonna go the,
Yeah.
There we go.
Cytalicious caps the base.
And now we're just going to watch the cleanup crew roll through. No more jumps across this thing. That is a cap for Max and Blue Hornets. So they are now in the lead. Realistically, the TR, the Miller guys, they need
Well,
to...
they're not out of this.
They're not out whatsoever. We have still got around about, is it 20 minutes still remaining? No, 19 and a half minutes. Excuse me. But we can come back from this. They need to attack the Ziggurat though. And you think they've got a bit of practice from the first round? But sadly now they've got it even harder because the Max and Blue Hornets are knocking on their door. They're going to be looking to get into that Zots territory. And this certainly...
Max, the gal drop's already here. They're going to be flipping this point. And this is what you need to
There
do.
they are. Look at this. This is where you take these points, because if you catch them with their pants down, you just move forward. They're reeling. They've got no Sundra set up. All they have is the spawn room here. And look, here comes the defensive Sunday we pointed out before. I was saying how much this room begged for it. Looks like the points flipping. We'll expect to see that inside. These NC guys around the outside. It looks like there isn't any gunners on the Sunday yet. They're pushing and fighting into the point.
M2X did a really good job actually.
Yeah, that was
Just
a nice
realising
clear.
What was going to happen? They got as many people onto that point as quickly as possible to secure it.
And here we go for defensive. It took some damage, but I think they're going to get this wrapped up. And they can deploy this in here.
Point at a ziggurat. There's a little fight going on. Looks like it's going to be defended. Yeah.
Let's hop back over here. Yeah, I see the points flipping slightly. Well, that was Hornets onto a Spitfire on the roof. The only way to take those strong vehicles out. Okay, so here comes the nice little slow point, the chess match. They need spawns. This is a long way for spawns, because I mean, if we're looking at Ziggurat, if you're in the spawn room over here, we're looking at 700 meters. They are not deploying into those Thunderers very easily. It's contested territory, so you're not spawning into your air vehicles over it. This is difficult to get ahead. This is nice to defend, because if you clear their spawns out, they have nothing.
The M2X really need to push out a little bit further though. It's not the hardest base to defend, but they're not going to defend it by staying inside this building and letting them get these Thunderers and get these Galaxies around the base and with control of the spawns.
As we highlighted before, I mean, you can get a Galaxy up on this top bit up here. And if you deploy in it, you can get full immunity. It's enough to jump down, but it also helps you to use your Bulldogs on there and it keeps you a spawn. And you're within, if you're already at this base, you are within 600 meters. You can spawn on it if it's contested. You can't spawn from the base back, so they need to be ready to fight on this base. They need to get their spawns up. This Sunderer could be a bit better, let's be honest. They have got it deployed, but that was just taken out so easily by that one heavy guy.
M2X are also doing a good job at they keep getting back on this Ziggurat point. They've held it now for 30-40 seconds. They've got 4 or 5 guys in here.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to hold it much longer. The NC are starting to push in from a few
That's just
angles.
it. Now this looks like a waste. I'm looking outside. They've got a defensive, deploy Sunday by the bridge outside. I thought he was going to go inside, but are they playing smart here? Yes, they have lost the point of the Ziggurat, but they're getting Sunday set up. They're getting ready to push on this base. But Mozzie's not looking at the thing. That's actually not a bad spawn, Sunday. A little bit of an open ground to cover, but you'd want to see a battle Sunday in there as well.
The TR are still on a Ziggurat with 2 minutes 40 to go.
There's some NC air up now. We're looking at 4 Reavers up. They're looking for this air superiority. They've just gone, let's reset, boys. Let's get our air up. Because they don't have the benefit of these anti-air turrets. They can't make those Walker Sundays work for them as well. I mean, the Biolab doesn't lend itself well to it either. There's a lot of space to hide. Incoming TR Gal, though.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit too late now. M2X,
Yep.
I think they need to gamble a little bit more with that point hold when they had it the first time. This Gal might not even get in drop range. 5, 6, 7
Yep, I
guys
see them
get
all
out.
peppering down.
They're going to get farmed by these
Oh,
Reavers.
and down they go. Reavers cleaning up. I mean, you would expect to see, if this was live, you'd expect to see some complaint threads on Reddit calling out people for farming here. Because that was just nasty to watch. Small little aerial battle going on. I mean, the Reavers, the Mozzie's doing a good job of holding its own. Goes into hover fight, and all these air hammers are just working him over. They've got a nice combination by the looks of it of nose guns fighting and some air hammer as well. So they've got a nice mixture of air. So
the TR still trying to contest Ziggurat, but it's I think Max maybe just sat down and realised all they have to do is not lose this base and they've won.
Well, that's it. 15 minutes left.
15 minutes left in the match.
Take
Right
away
now,
the 3 minutes for the cap, and you're looking at 12 minutes to just keep pressuring this. Because I mean, this is what's critical. If you don't want to lose a base, you have to attack a base. You cannot just sit back, because eventually something breaks. Incoming another Sunder again.
Max right now, they're just going to play this safe. They know they're through. They know this cap is going to see it. They know that the time's running out. They're going to try and keep guys flipping the next base, but I'd be happy to keep a good half or 3/4 of my force sitting at the Ziggurat, keep the air above it, and just make sure they...
Well, that's just it. And is
don't
that what
get
you
set
do
up.
now? Do you keep one squad, essentially, or like some of the infantry guys, not pushing aggressively? You've got some air farming it. Keep them passive, keep those resources alive, and just keep the point unflipped, and then just have everybody else just trying to get on this point up ahead. I mean, there goes an NC drop from a Gal. But it's just one guy.
This is what I would be doing. I mean, 2-3 guys dropped out of that Gal at Zots, and that's all you need. Just keep drawing them out, trying to attack Ziggurat, and then drop a few guys behind it, flipping the
We've
point.
got a couple of guys in on here.
Too late on the TR Ziggurat, if that's what you're talking about, though. They've already been back up.
Yep, yeah, that's just it. But I mean, I'm looking, I've watched Sightlicious go down. We've still got the Medic alive, though. Medic res is Sighty. They've got some good infantry. They do have the Sunday deployed inside, though. What do you do here? Do you take the Sunday out or do you fight? Turns out neither. Both going down. But that's
nice
Sunday.
trade there, which is essentially going to keep this even.
Yep. Well, Sunday goes down. We still got heavies. And look at this gal. The general definition of not giving a what. Just dropping people casually outside the door. But this guy's loving it. Yeah, casually into fucking a straight line of fire. But he goes down. There's no TR Sunday inside now. So NC can look to start pushing in here. But this is a bit of a nasty corner to get around. How do you peek?
You can't leave a Galaxy doing this. I mean,
Yeah.
the only advantage you have when you're defending more than anything else is that you've got this solid spawn room, which is
Well,
going to go
away goes
there.
the gal. But, I mean, it was hovering down here. But you can't really see it from the spawn room if it gets low enough. So it's not a bad tactic.
Well, it's a good tactic, but the TR needed to be need to just keep some AA up around because these gals, if they're allowed to hold.
Well,
there
NC
for
are in
10
now.
seconds.
Look at this. They're bringing some numbers into this base. Point's going to start flipping. Or have they been back capped?
They've been
It looks like there's a back
back
cap now. So, this is what we were talking about. You've got to be aware. Yes, you can do all this, but if you move these squads forward, you can get locked out. Point looks like it's being held, though. What's happening back there? Is it being defended?
They're flipping back again. There's just 6 guys getting on point and getting cleared, and this is what Max and Blue Hornets need to do. Just don't worry about capping more bases. You've won. You're going to go through to the next round. You know, you don't want to make any mistakes that are going to throw that away.
Oh, that's